The explosion thundered through the earth like the wrath of a dying world. Chunks of rock cascaded, molten steel sparked in a violent hiss, and the entire tunnel collapsed in on itself. The heat wave from the detonation burned the walls of the hive into molten flesh and ash. Silence followed, thick, suffocating silence. But the silence didn't last. Somewhere beyond the smoke and ruin, something moved, something massive. Before the detonation, the Terminator had known two things. The hive had to be stopped before it expanded to the surface, and the Queen had to be neutralized to prevent further spawning. Its mission was clear, the strategy flawless. But Skynet's machine hadn't calculated one variable. The Queen was already awake. It had discovered the hive entrance near an abandoned subway system beneath Old San Francisco. Reports of missing humans had led resistance scouts to the tunnels, but by the time they confirmed it was a xenomorph infestation, it was too late. The colony was vast, stretching deeper underground like cancerous roots. The Terminator had been dispatched alone, a tactical infiltration model wrapped in human skin, carrying 2 nuclear plasma cores set to collapse the entire sector. It was meant to be surgical, swift, absolute. The hive was darker than darkness itself, a maze of living tunnels and pulsing walls that breathed. Every surface glistened with mucus sheen, lit only by the occasional flicker of dying utility lights and the Terminator's own internal infrared scans. It had moved like a ghost, stepping over half-digested corpses, pausing only to scan for motion. No signs of the Queen. Noix. Only silence and a scent in the air like burning copper. It reached the heart of the hive, the central chamber, where organic columns rose like cathedral spires. There, it placed the explosives, synchronized the countdown, and turned to retreat. That's when the Queen struck. She did not roar. She did not scream. She simply appeared, dropping from the shadows with a weight that shook the ground. Her long, barbed tail stabbed through the air, catching the Terminator in the chest, sparks flying as the flesh peeled away to reveal titanium alloy. The machine didn't flinch. It fought like a storm, mechanical fists battering her chitin, burning plasma pulses from its forearm cannons scarring her body. But the Queen wasn't alone. From the walls, dozens of drones slithered down, shrieking. The machine calculated the odds, evaluated the exit tunnels, and chose the only viable strategy. It activated the charges early. The last thing it saw before the blast was the Queen's glowing jaws lunging forward. Now, buried under several tons of rock, the Terminator's HUD rebooted. Systems offline. Damage critical. Right arm disabled. Plasma cannons fried. Core integrity at 73%. It was trapped, surrounded by collapsed tunnels and still burning biomatter. But it was not alone. The Queen had survived. She moved behind the walls. Her drones were dead, vaporized in the initial blast, but she, impossibly, had tunneled into a deeper crevice before detonation. Now, she stalked the wreckage like a ghost, her movements echoing through the hollow ruin. The Terminator crawled from the rubble, its synthetic skin torn away, half its skull exposed. Its left leg lagged from the knee. But it continued. Mission: neutralize the Queen. Status: ongoing. It limped deeper into the hive's remains, motion tracker pinging softly with every seismic vibration. The Queen was toying with it. No direct attacks, just movement. She wanted it to know she was alive. The walls still oozed. Despite the destruction, this was still her territory. It reached the old birthing chamber. Egg casings had fused into the stone, but many were crushed in the blast. Yet one remained whole, untouched. The Terminator analyzed the structure. The Queen had moved the egg recently. It wasn't here earlier. It had been brought back. A decoy. She was drawing it in. Suddenly, behind it, movement. Fast. Silent. It turned just in time to block her claw with its remaining arm. Her strength was unearthly. It staggered back, stumbling through the wreckage as her tail sliced through the air and missed its neck by inches. The machine struck back, elbow slamming into her ribs, knee to her thorax, but she barely felt it. Acid blood splattered, melting the Terminator's shoulder joint. Pain irrelevant, motion sustained. The Queen lunged again, this time biting. Her inner jaws shot out, breaking through the side of its skull casing. Sparks exploded. The machine's vision blurred. Backup optics switched on. She pinned it. Mission status updated. Failure likely. And yet, the Terminator did not give up. With its remaining hand, it reached for its chest plate. Beneath it, a failsafe, a micronuclear core designed for suicide missions. The Queen sensed something. She hesitated, her head tilted in eerie curiosity, like a predator evaluating an unfamiliar trap. The Terminator activated the countdown. 5 seconds. The Queen struck. 3 seconds. She pierced its abdomen too late. 2 seconds. The Terminator locked eyes with her, systems blinking red. 1 second. 0. Another detonation, this time smaller but focused. The explosion imploded the cavity, turning everything inside to white heat. The Queen was engulfed. The last thing the machine registered was her scream. Less a sound, more a thought etched into the stone. Then darkness. Above ground, resistance fighters detected the seismic tremor. They had been monitoring from a safe perimeter, unaware their last scout hadn't made it out. When the tremor subsided, and dust no longer rose from the cracked subway entrance, they dared approach. One scout dropped into the collapsed tunnel, lights sweeping over the molten remains. Everything was fused metal, bone, rock. Nothing moved. The Hive was gone. And with it, the Terminator. They didn't find a body, only a shattered core casing still warm. But deep below, beyond the melted layers of the earth, a whisper of movement remained. A twitch, not from the Queen, but from something else. A claw, small, bit, newborn. The egg hadn't been a decoy. It had been her last insurance. And now it hatched alone, bathed in radiation. Whatever emerged wasn't pure xenomorph. It wasn't machine either. It was both. Skynet's last soldier had failed. But it had also changed something. The Queen was gone, yes. But her legacy, corrupted by metal, lived on. And it had already started to crawl. The Resistance thought they'd won. That the Hive was finished. But the war had just shifted. Now they would face a new kind of terror. One born in fire and blood. One with no master, no code, no queen. Just hunger and intelligence. It remembered the Terminator's final gaze. The cold logic. The fearless stare. It remembered and it learned. The tunnel may be sealed, but it would find another. And next time it would not be trapped. It would trap.